Okay, so far we have been reviewing this chapter, the development of wisdom, the very last chapter of this book, right before the closing, the epilogue. Just a quick recap. So far, this chapter starts from the fact that ignorance is something that we have to dispel, and precisely the task of wisdom is to dispel this defilement, the defilement of ignorance. And one of the three main delusions is the illusion of self. And precisely the task of wisdom is to uncover what exactly, how do we analyze the concept of self according to Buddhists. One way is to apply the analysis to the 5 aggregates: material, form, feeling, perception, mental formations, and consciousness. How should we contemplate it? We take a look at one of the components and then see how it arises and how it passes away. And then look at another component, feeling, how it arises and how it passes away. And then perception, how it arises and how it passes away, and so on. Another way, other than the 5 aggregates, you can contemplate the 6 sense bases, whether it's internal or external. The internal represents our own body. So for example, the eye, and the external, whatever objects that we see. The eye and the forms. The ear, internal, and sounds, whatever is captured by the ear. The nose and others, the tongue and taste, the body and tangibles, and last one, the mind and mental objects. Okay. We will continue further examining the self. Here, the field of self is further attenuated by examining the factors of existence, not only analytically, but also in terms of their relational structure. How exactly? We investigate further, and inspection reveals that the aggregates exist not as an independent entity, but as something conditioned, dependence on conditions. Nothing in the set enjoys the absolute self-sufficiency of being attributed to the assumed I. The one example given by the text, the body, for example, has arisen through the union of sperm and egg and subsists in dependence of what we take every day, our daily intake of food, water, and air. These are our basic requirements for this body to exist. Without water, I think we will not survive for long. For food, how long do you think you can survive without food? How many days? Does anyone here have tried 48 hours before without food? No, I have tried once. Just for 48 hours, the effect that it had on me was slight dizziness. But from what I read, human can last 30 days, 30, without food. Yeah, but better don't go that far. For water, I think it's much shorter. Probably just a few days we will not be able to survive anymore. Yeah. And let alone water, how about air? I think just within minutes we will just pass out already without air. Yeah, so this body is really dependent on, at the very least, these three: food, water, and air. And then the other aggregates, feeling, perception, and mental formations occur independence of the body with its sense faculties. They require an object, and then also the corresponding consciousness and contact of the object with the consciousness through the media of the sense faculties. Okay, just a quick example. Let's say the pleasant feeling born of the eye contact. Whatever you see on your eye, in your eyes, pleasant, let's say, scenery, a beautiful scenery, the mountains with the seas, pleasant feeling born through the eye. So firstly, it requires an object. What was the object? The scenery, the mountains, the sea. And then what is the corresponding consciousness? The eye consciousness. And then you need to make an contact, the eye with the mountain and the sea, through the sense faculties. So eye consciousness with your eye, the sense faculties, and then you make contact with the object, the mountain and the sea itself. And that's how feeling arises, independence of these three. Eye consciousness, the eye itself, and the contact with the object. And then consciousness in turn depends on the sentient organism and the entire assemblage of co-arising mental factors. And then further, if we explore further, this whole process of becoming, according to the text, has arisen from the previous lives that we had in this particular chain of existence and inherit all the accumulated karma of the earlier existences. There's this famous lines that beings are the owner of their actions, heir of their actions. Thus, this paragraph concludes, nothing possesses a self-sufficient mode of being. All conditioned phenomena exist relationally, contingent, and dependent on other things. And if you attended the Heart Sutra workshop, you will have a lot of exposure regarding this, regarding emptiness and regarding non-self. Having done the above two steps, firstly, the factorial analysis with regards to the 5 aggregates, with regards to the 6 sense bases, and contemplation of the relational dependency of the aggregates, help cut away, firstly, at least the intellectual adherence to the idea of self. But they lack sufficient power to destroy the ingrained clinging to the ego sustained by erroneous perception. What does that mean? It means that even though we understand it intellectually, which is also already an achievement, I would say, because firstly, not many people can even analyze it intellectually. But if we can at least get the intellectual idea, we at least know what is the direction. To uproot this subtle form of ego clinging requires a counteractive perception, direct insight into the empty, causeless nature of phenomena. How to generate such an insight? By contemplating these factors of existence in terms of the three universal marks: impermanence, anicca, unsatisfactoriness, dukkha, and selflessness. The first of the three to be discerned is impermanence. At the level of insight does not mean only that everything eventually comes to an end. At this level, at the level of insight, it means something more deeper, something more pervasive, namely that conditioned phenomena are in constant process, happenings which break up and perish almost as soon as they arise. The stable objects appearing to the senses reveal themselves to be strings of momentary formations, sankhara. The person posited by common sense dissolves into a current made out of two intertwining streams, a stream of material events, the aggregate of material form, and a stream of mental events, the other four aggregates. Let's try to understand this line firstly. The stable objects appearing to the senses reveal themselves to be strings of momentary formations, and also this line. Conditioned phenomena are in constant process, happenings which break up and perish almost as soon as they arise. When I take a look at this sentence, does it actually feel this way? Oops. Okay, give me a second. My aircon is leaking a lot of water. Okay. Okay, I think I leave it for now. Do you guys hear the drop of water? No, okay. Okay, then I'll just continue. Suddenly it's streaming like waterfall. Surprise me. Okay, let's continue from it. Conditioned phenomena are in constant process. Does it actually feel that way? Let's say, for example, our hair. It doesn't feel like our hair at least doesn't feel like it grows at a noticeable rate, but day after day, you will see that your hair getting longer and longer. So while it doesn't feel like it's changing, in fact, it's always changing. It is always growing, the hair. Yeah. The fact that we don't actually feel that it's changing is because we haven't reached at that level of insight yet. Yeah. But if you contemplate carefully, you will, at least intellectually, you will know that your hair at every moment is always growing. Yeah. Even though it's very short, not so noticeable. So that is one way I would understand this. Another way is your skin, from what I read, is always constantly generating a new cell and discarding the old cells. Yeah. It's always in constant process of generating dead skin, yeah, shedding your dead skin, and then generating a new one. Yeah. It's always changing, even though we don't feel it. Yeah. So this is how I would understand the stable objects that we don't feel that's changing day to day, appearing to the senses, reveal themselves to be strings of momentary formations. Of course, the way to see this very clearly is to take a look at your past photos. Yeah. Maybe yesterday, the photo of yesterday, you don't feel it. The photo of 2 days ago, you don't feel it. But if you go back even just like 2 or 3 years ago, I think you will notice the difference is really, you can see the stark difference. Okay. At this point, any questions or comments?
I think this is a very powerful insight, because I've read this and then I try to sort of like, when I look at things, I try to see that they cease when they arise, but I'm not able to do that because I only catch the ceasing part at the ceasing part, not at the arising part. Yeah, that means when something breaks down, like for example, your aircon, you're having it all the time, but you don't have the thinking that it is changing and it's impermanent until when it starts to leak. That is the ceasing part, the ending part, the breaking up part. Then you realize that, oh, everything arises and cease. So if the aircon didn't break down, you don't have the perception of arising and ceasing. Yeah. So I have listened to a lot of variables trying to explain this to us, to tell us that when you see something actually, or whether it's human situation or object, the seeing of that thing, when seeing it arise, you should contemplate that it's impermanent and eventually it will cease. So if you are able to do that, then we can stop clinging on to it. The reason why we cling on to it is, I think we are always quite late. We only realize the suffering that it gives us at the end, at the ceasing part. That means when like somebody passed away, our dear ones, we separate from them, then we feel the dukkha, we feel the pain. But actually, Buddha says, when there's birth, there's death. So when someone is born, you should already see the death in that person. Yeah. So if we are able to appreciate that in our daily lives, we have to keep reminding ourselves, I think. We have to keep telling ourselves that whatever arises will cease, whatever arises will cease. So on one hand, I think we don't cling on to it, but on the other hand, I think we cherish whatever we have now. And because we know that things are conditioned, so whatever conditions that arise, we accept it. Yeah, I think that's the training of the insight. Yeah. But yeah, I'm still working hard on that. I think it's very difficult for unenlightened being to see the arising as the ceasing. Yeah.
Thanks for adding on, Saikyang.
Yeah, myself, thanks for the 4 jhanas, but that one I have to read. No, what I meant is you give me that last time you told me first jhana is what application, then second jhana, joy, like that, no?
You mean like in a table
I
form?
can remember easily lah, instead of if I read cannot remember ma. Like in a short form like that.
Did I?
Yeah, last time you say it out lah, but I didn't copy down.
Well, I try to find it for you. Yeah, the factors of jhana in a short form.
Yeah. Thanks.
Okay. Thanks, Greg. Thanks for your request. Anyone else would like to add?
What about our hair drop? You can see it's changing. Right?
Yes, that's one way. Yeah, the hair in your dreams. Yeah.
Our hair become white this. We're aging.
Yes. Yeah. Okay, Sister Singhi.
No, I was thinking when Sister Saikyang was mentioning about hard to notice the arising. I think when we have pain, then we really feel the arising, and then we hope it will cease very fast. We hope that it will cease. That when that's the part that we will then notice whenever there's pain, the arising of the pain, and we hope that it will quickly cease.
Yes. You can also relate this with the First Noble Truth. Yeah. The reason that we notice it so quickly, because pain doesn't accord to what we want. Yeah, that's the reason that we notice it so quickly. And we want it to disappear because we want it to separate with the unpleasant, which is the First Noble Truth. And the reason that Saikyang said when something ceases, we notice it quickly because that is something that we want suddenly ceases. Then that is why it doesn't accord to what we want, and then we notice it that quick. Yes. But in fact,
it's the same. Sister Singhui, when you said the pain arise, it's the other side of the coin. That means you loses your happiness, you loses your peace, you loses this stable body. So when pain arises, actually dukkha arises, it is a natural form of process. That means with the body, you have to keep contemplating that this body will age, will have sickness, and eventually die. Because this concept is not in us. That's why when pain arises, you cling on to the unpleasantness and you see the arising. But actually, when you see this arising of pain, we are seeing the cessation of the happiness and the stability. Yeah, it is. We are always in this duality. We are always wanting happiness and want suffering. That's why when we see we see the arising and we want it to cease. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, right.
hey, is Quite saying anything? You're muted.
No, I say what Ko Saikyang says is correct.
Okay, thanks for the affirmation. Okay, that's we had a good discussion today. Anyone else would like to add on? Okay, if not, then let's do a dedication. 愿消三障诸烦恼，愿得智慧真明了。普愿罪障悉消除，时时常行菩萨道。阿弥陀佛。Till we meet again, may we be guided by the Buddha, Dhamma, and the Sangha. Sadhu, sadhu, sadhu. Have a unconditioned Saturday ahead. Thanks everyone for participating. I'll see you guys next time.
Take care, everybody.
Take care. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.